me know when you are ready.
I'm ready when you are.
I should have done my vocal exercises.
Your warm-ups?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, 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 me. Our world is facing a number of catastrophes, including rising sea levels, surging rates of mental illness. But we have hope. Using scientifically backed information, we know that we can begin doing things now, which will have major impacts on this world within the next 20 years. And significant changes will show themselves in the year 2041. So these are our stories. We both went to school, bachelor's, master's, PhD in math and chemistry, respectively. And both of us, after graduating, got jobs as professors, which we believed at the time to be our dream jobs.
Being a professor at a small, innovative liberal arts university seemed like it was the perfect job for me. I was excited about being in an innovative teaching environment that's really student-centered, learner-oriented, preparing youth to really take charge of their journey and to develop the skills that are necessary or that we think are necessary for success in the 21st century, really looking at a different model of education. I'd been discovering that passion in the 4 or 5 years prior to that for education. And so it felt like it was the perfect job.
While recording this documentary, I made many attempts to try to explain fully and honestly how much my job harmed me. And I just could not get the words out. So I tried to get my husband, Nathan, to describe the circumstances instead.
Yeah, okay. So end of September, October is maybe the time that I've like blocked out of my mind when you ask me. I try to remember back before I quit my job, like that was hard enough that I just don't want to.
The jobs that we walked away from, academic jobs, I think are a lot different than the general public seems to view them as. They are highly competitive. And Melanie and I both got professor jobs out of graduate school, which is very hard to come by, very rare. And you're almost left with this, feeling that you can't complain or think there's anything wrong with your job because you're one of the few lucky ones who was able to get a professor job immediately without doing 5 or 6 different short-term positions, which literally happens. Some people will move every year for 7 years, doing a different position each year before they can land a professor job. And then once you're in it, it's just so career focused and so cutthroat and so competitive. And it just engulfs your whole life.
I mean, you could do, you do your 15-hour days or you do your 8-10-hour days and
Your
just
eight
push in
in
an
one
extra
week.
day.
Mm-hmm.
The expectations for myself were untenably high. And while I know that that's very much an inside job, something that is internally within myself, I think we know that that comes from the culture
These are jobs that we thought about for a long time. We dreamed about through grad school. We were very excited when we got these jobs. And that made it very difficult to leave. But we both did get to a point where we had to say enough is enough.
So far, we've only even talked about quitting our jobs, but that was the first step that we had to go through to get to a place where we feel like we're contributing to the future that we want to see. Because what we were experiencing was not giving us life. It was not giving us energy. And with the passion that we bring to our work, these are hard steps to take. But we knew that we were not going to get to anything resembling the future that we dream of on this track.
So although we haven't talked about the future yet, the first step was moving ourselves out of a situation that wasn't healthy, that wasn't serving us, serving our dreams. And really, we just needed to kind of clean some of the gunk out of our lives in order to free up the space and the energy to do the things that are most important to us.
At the start of the end, here comes your white knight. Got a foot on the edge, looking over the ledge, and everything will be just fine, turning inside out, falling out of time. If it's the final story, it's death and glory, and tomorrow the sun will rise and we'll start over again. We'll write a different story, we'll start over again. A tale of gods and glory. You gotta put up a fight or fade away. When it's all coming towards you, backed into a corner, it's time to find a way. Don't back down, just keep going. At the turn of the tide, only help you can find is the will to carry on. We'll write a different story.
So since quitting my job, my primary focus has been on improving my own mental and physical health. And I hate saying this on camera. It's so counter to so many things that were ingrained beliefs in me for so long, that you get a job, you work hard, you make money, you buy a nice house, you save for retirement, all of these things that we're told are valuable, and maybe not told directly, but from looking at the world around us. And it's hard to suddenly be doing something that's counter to all of that and stopping and taking time for myself. It sounds selfish to me. It's hard to accept. Because as much as we talk the talk and say that things like relationships and health are more important than having more money and having more things, realistically, if we look around, that's not the value that's conveyed by the average person's actions. And my dream is that people will begin to prioritize their mental, their spiritual, and physical health over promotions, over working long hours, over having a bigger house or a nicer car.
My dream for the year 2041 is that we live in tight-knit, kind and caring communities that share an awareness of the ways in which we are all connected. We mostly walk or bike for our transportation and rarely require the use of a vehicle. When we do, it is a shared vehicle that gets far more use than our former individually owned cars. We're able to earn money through purposeful work that truly serves the community. Limiting our wants and appreciating all that we have, the abundance of the earth is sustaining the needs of the 9 billion people who are living on this planet now. At the same time, biodiversity is recovering. We are working to preserve habitats for endangered species so that their populations will grow.
So for climate solutions, I know you've been doing work with Drawdown Alberta. Can you explain what Drawdown is?
Yes, absolutely. So the work of Project Drawdown brings together an international group of scientists who have basically looked into the things that you might expect to be good solutions based on currently existing technology, and actually they actually have done the research around how much these different actions can contribute to reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, and they've also analyzed the economics. And so what I really love about Project Drawdown, next to its international sort of consortium of people that it brings together, is the fact that they demonstrate with currently available technology, we can get to zero emissions, net zero emissions, where we're not putting more greenhouse gases overall into the atmosphere than we're taking out as soon as 2040. It's economically and technologically viable. And according to their analysis, what is the biggest barrier is political will. And so it's around understanding that we have the solutions available, and then looking at how do we do a transition in a way that doesn't leave communities behind, that doesn't disadvantage people.